In the last lesson, we introduced the idea of polynomial expressions. In this lesson, we're going to introduce a closely related idea that's a rational expression. Rational expression is a polynomial divided by another polynomial. So here's an example, 3x squared plus 1 divided by 2x plus 3. Polynomial divided by a polynomial, that's all there is to a rational expression. Now let's talk about some simple techniques for simplifying rational expressions. And so here's a rational expression, and we often start off simplifying these by factoring either the numerator or the denominator or both. Well, in this case, there's nothing to factor in the numerator, so we'll just leave it like that. But now notice the denominator is a quadratic, so we know how to factor that. Two numbers whose product is a -4 and whose sum is a +3. Well, how about a -1 and a +4? Okay. Now, notice that the denominator has a factor of x plus 4 and the numerator has a factor of x plus 4. So those x plus 4s are going to cancel. So we have 1 over x minus 1. And so there we go. That's all there is to factoring or simplifying a rational expression. Factor the numerator and the denominator, try to cancel like factors, and we're all done. Okay. Now, we got to be careful about canceling things. We can only cancel something from the numerator and the denominator if both of those things are factors. Now, in this case, take this rational expression. We may be tempted to say, oh, there's an x plus 4 in the numerator and an x plus 4 in the denominator, so let's just cancel those to get 1 over x squared. Well, the problem is we can't do that, and that's because the x plus 4 in the denominator is not a factor. Those are just two terms in the denominator, so I can't cancel that. I'd have to do some other work to try to simplify this. Here's another example of simplifying a rational expression. And so let's apply this technique of factoring both the numerator and the denominator and trying to cancel factors. Well, the numerator, notice that's a difference of squares. 25 is 5 squared. So let's write this as 5 minus x times 5 plus x. And now the denominator is a quadratic, so let's try to factor that. So we need two numbers whose product is a positive 25, but whose sum is a -10. Well, how about a -5 and a -5? Okay. Now, we look at this and we say, well, wait a minute, we got some factors that look pretty similar. We have a 5 minus x in the numerator and an x minus 5 in the denominator. So they look very similar, but notice that the negative signs aren't quite in the right place. So we can fix that by writing, let's write this top factor as a negative x plus, x minus 5 times a 5 plus x divided by x minus 5 times x minus 5. And again, this is a subtraction here. So now we've got an x minus 5 as a factor in the numerator, an x minus 5 as a factor in the denominator. Those cancel, but don't forget about that negative out front. So negative 5 plus x divided by x minus 5. And so there we factor it. There are other ways that we could write this, but this would be fine.